William James Willie Dixon was an American blues musician, vocalist, songwriter, arranger and record producer. A Grammy Award winner who was proficient on both the upright bass and the guitar and as a vocalist, Dixon is perhaps best known as one of the most prolific songwriters of his time. Next to Muddy Waters, Dixon is recognized as the most influential person in shaping the post-World War II sound of the Chicago blues. Dixon's songs have been recorded by countless musicians in many genres as well as by various ensembles in which he participated. A short list of his most famous compositions includes Hoochie Coochie Man, I Just Want to Make Love to You, Little Red Rooster, My Babe, Spoonful, and You Can't Judge a Book by the Cover. These tunes were written during the peak of Chess Records, 1950–1965, and performed by Muddy Waters, Howlin Wolf, Little Walter, and Bo Diddley. They influenced a worldwide generation of musicians. Dixon also was an important link between the blues and rock and roll, working with Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley in the late 1950s. His songs were covered by some of the biggest artists of more recent times, such as Cream, Jeff Beck, The Doors, Led Zeppelin, The Rolling Stones, Steppenwolf, Bob Dylan, and Jimi Hendrix. The debut albums by the first 6 of those artists all feature at least one Willie Dixon song, a measure of his influence on rock music. Biography. Early life. Dixon was born in Vicksburg, Mississippi on July 1, 1915. His mother Daisy often rhymed the things she said, a habit her son imitated. At the age of 7, young Dixon became an admirer of a band that featured pianist Little Brother Montgomery. He sang his first song at Springfield Baptist Church at the age of 4. Dixon was first introduced to blues when he served time on prison farms in Mississippi as an early teenager. He later learned how to sing harmony from local carpenter Leo Phelps. Dixon sang bass in Phelps' group the Jubilee Singers, a local gospel quartet that regularly appeared on the Vicksburg radio station WQBC. Dixon began adapting poems he was writing as songs, and even sold some tunes to local music groups. Adulthood. Dixon left Mississippi for Chicago in 1936. A man of considerable stature, at 6.5 feet and weighing over 250 pounds, he took up boxing. He was so successful that he won the Illinois State Golden Gloves Heavyweight Championship in 1937. Dixon turned professional as a boxer and worked briefly as Joe Louis' sparring partner. After 4 fights, Dixon left boxing after getting into a fight with his manager over being cheated out of money. Dixon met Leonard Carston at the boxing gym where they would harmonize at times. Dixon performed in several vocal groups in Chicago, but it was Carston that got him to pursue music seriously. Carston built him his first bass, made of a tin can and 1 string. Dixon's experience singing bass made the instrument familiar. Moreover, Dixon also learned how to harmonize by Theo Phelps, a Jubilee singer. He also learned the guitar. In 1939, Dixon was a founding member of the Five Breezes, with Carston, Joe Bell, Gene Gilmore and Willie Hawthorne. The group blended blues, jazz, and vocal harmonies, in the mode of the Ink Spots. Dixon's progress on the upright bass came to an abrupt halt during the advent of World War II when he resisted the draft as a conscientious objector and was imprisoned for 10 months. Dixon decided not to fight in the war because he did not want to support a nation who continued to promote institutionalized racist laws. After the war, he formed a group named the Four Jumps of Jive and then reunited with Carston, forming the Big Three Trio, who went on to record for Columbia Records. Pinnacle of career. Dixon signed with Chess Records as a recording artist, but began performing less, being more involved with administrative tasks for the label. By 1951, he was a full-time employee at Chess, where he acted as producer, talent scout, session musician and staff songwriter. He was also a producer for Chess subsidiary Checker Records. His relationship with Chess was sometimes strained, although he stayed with the label from 1948 to the early 1960s. During this time Dixon's output and influence were prodigious. From late 1956 to early 1959, he worked in a similar capacity for Cobra Records, where he produced early singles for Otis Rush, Magic Sam, and Buddy Guy. He later recorded on Bluesville Records. From the late 1960s until the middle 1970s, Dixon ran his own record label, Yambo Records, along with two subsidiary labels, Supreme and Spoonful. He released his 1971 album Peace on Yambo, as well as singles by McKinley Mitchell, Lucky Peterson and others. Dixon is considered one of the key figures in the creation of Chicago blues. He worked with Chuck Berry, Muddy Waters, Howlin Wolf, Otis Rush, Bo Diddley, Joe Louis Walker, Little Walter, Sonny Boy Williamson, Coco Taylor, Little Milton, Eddie Boyd, Jimmy Witherspoon, Lowell Fulson, Willie Melvin, Memphis Slim, Washboard Sam, Jimmy Rogers, Sam Lay and others. In December 1964, the Rolling Stones reached #1 in the UK singles chart with their cover of Dixon's Little Red Rooster. Copyright battles. In his later years, Willie Dixon became a tireless ambassador for the blues and a vocal advocate for its practitioners, founding the Blues Heaven Foundation. The organization works to preserve the blues legacy and to secure copyrights and royalties for blues musicians who were exploited in the past. Speaking with the simple eloquence that was a hallmark of his songs, Dixon claimed, "The blues are the roots and the other musics are the fruits. It's better keeping the roots alive, because it means better fruits from now on. The blues are the roots of all American music. As long as American music survives, so will the blues." In 1977, unhappy with the royalties rate from ARC Music, he and Muddy Waters sued the Chess-owned publishing company, and with the proceeds from the lawsuit set up Hoochie Coochie Music. In 1987, Dixon received an out-of-court settlement from Led Zeppelin after suing them for plagiarism, in relation to their use of his music for Bring It On Home, and his lyrics from his composition You Need Love for their track Whole Lotta Love. Dixon's health deteriorated increasingly during the 70s and the 80s, primarily due to long-term diabetes. Eventually one of his legs had to be amputated. Dixon was inducted at the inaugural session of the Blues Foundation's ceremony, and into the Blues Hall of Fame in 1980. In 1989 he was also the recipient of a Grammy Award for his album, Hidden Charms. Death and legacy. Dixon died of heart failure in Burbank, California on January 29, 1992, and was buried in the Burr Oak Cemetery in Alsip, Illinois. After Dixon's death his widowed wife, Marie Dixon, took over the Blues Heaven Foundation and moved the headquarters to Chess Records. Dixon was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the Early Influences category in 1994. On April 28, 2013, Dixon's grandson, Alex Dixon, was inducted into the Chicago Blues Hall of Fame along with his grandfather. Actor and comedian Cedric the Entertainer portrayed Dixon in Cadillac Records, a 2008 film based on the early history of Chess Records. Tributes. French singer-songwriter Francis Cabrel refers to Dixon in the song Saint Anne's de Plus on his 1999 album Hors Saison. Cabrel cites the artist as one of a number of blues influences, including Charlie Patton, Son House, Blind Lemon, Robert Johnson, Howlin Wolf, Blind Blake and Ma Rainey. Canadian rock musician Tom Cochrane wrote a song entitled Willie Dixon Said that appeared on his 1999 album X-Ray Sierra. Bob Dylan credited Willie Dixon for the music of the song My Wife's Hometown on his album Together Through Life and gave special thanks to Dixon's estate. Bernie Taupin, English lyricist, poet, singer and painter, best known for his long-term collaboration with Elton John, is actively campaigning for Willie Dixon's posthumous induction in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Discography. Albums. A Sideman with Sam Lazar, Spaceflight. See also, List of blues musicians, Chicago Blues Festival, List of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, Boogie Woogie. References. Barretta, Scott. Voices from Chicago, Jackie Dixon. Living Blues 05-2008, 38-9. ProQuest. Web October 3, 2015. Further reading, Dixon, Willie. And Snowden, Don. I Am the Blues, The Willie Dixon Story. Da Capo Press. ISBN 7043-0253-5. Dixon, Willie. Willie Dixon, a Euromaster blues composer, with notes and tablature. Hal Leonard. ISBN 0-7935-0305-1, 1997. The Chess Box. Snowden, Don. Willie Dixon, CD booklet. MCA Records, Incorporated. Inaba, Mitsutoshi. Willie Dixon, Preacher of the Blues. Scarecrow Press. ISBN 978-0-8108-6993-6. External links: Willie Dixon et al. Music, Willie Dixon at the Internet Movie Database, Willie Dixon at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Willie Dixon, Mississippi blues musician. The Mississippi Writers and Musicians Project of Starkville High School. Willie Dixon's Blues Heaven Foundation, Willie Dixon's official website.